What's up, everybody? This is your boy, the one and only Keng El Bey, breaking it down for you, dropping this science on y'all. Let me just bring this into so everybody can see and hear what I'm talking about today. So I'm just dropping this science on y'all so y'all can get this. I want to talk about the secure party and the support secure party and creditor. So you gotta understand, a lot of people don't understand that you don't need the UCCs to secure your interest in property. Let me repeat, you do not need the UCCs to secure your interest in property, nor to be the creditor. You don't need it. But if you decide to use it or whatever you're trying to do, I'm going to give you some game to help you make some critical thinking choices when you're dealing with this information, when it comes down to nationality, treaty benefits, when it comes down to commercial and understanding what's going on with this information. So first, let's get into it. I want to talk about tax exemption first, and then we're going to look at secure party creditor, and we're going to look at some definitions, and I'm going to break this down. I'm going to try to keep this video, I'm going to try to keep it short, see if I can keep it, fairly short, because do the videos too long, people don't watch. So check this. Tax exemption is the reduction or removal of liability to make a compulsory payment that would otherwise be imposed by a ruling power upon person, property, income, or transaction. Let's go back over this again. Tax exemption is the reduction or removal of a liability to a compulsory payment that would otherwise be imposed by a ruling power upon person, property, income, or transaction. So I want you to look at this word and understand. So that means if something is governed, when you talk about government, that means something is governing over that property. Ain't that what a trust do? It governs that property, how it can be used. Ain't that what a trust do? So if everything is in trust, and you understand trust law, and you understand that the power of government is acting as trustees and making rules and authority over property, trust property on how it can be used, now you can critically think. But if you exempt from that totally, you're totally tax exempt. That means they ain't got no jurisdiction to tell you what to do with that property. Because that means it ain't their property to begin with. So tax exempt status may provide complete relief from taxes, reduced rates, or tax on only a portion of items. So I want y'all to understand that. So when you listen to somebody talking about they tax exempt, they only get tax relief. I didn't say it, relief from taxes. So that means you only get certain portions. When you totally tax exempt, that means you exempt. Don't none of that apply. When you get some tax relief, that means only partial. only partial of that apply, or you fall in a special category of certain deductions. So let's go down a little further. It said, so tax exemption generally refers to a statutory exception to the general rule than the mere absence of taxation in a particular circumstances. So you got the general rules, and then you got general law, then you got special law, you got remedial law, you got different forms of law. So when we're talking about general, we're talking about your state or your statutory. That's general. So if you know what you're doing, then you would make sure you get it on the state and federal level, your tax exemptions. This is how you're supposed to be moving. Totally tax exempt. Having your paperwork, having all of this done. See, when you utilize the UCCs, guess what happens? Let's go to the let me show y'all something. Ohio Revised Code. I ain't gonna make this video real long. Commerce. Let me see. Let me see. 13. Now let's go here. This is the UCCs right here. In my state. Ohio Uniform Commercial Codes. Liens. This. So guess what? The UCCs, and put them in a general form. So now you no longer tax exempt. You fall under this jurisdiction. You fall directly under this jurisdiction. But I probably have to do part 2 because I'm not trying to make this video short. So just wanted to show you, just showing y'all UCCs is in my Ohio Revised Codes. So you're not exempt anymore. Tax exempt, and if you private, it said private property shall ever be held inviolated. That means they can never violate your rights of private property. But when you UCC that, guess what happened? You give it up. So let me get back into this. So let's talk about secure party. It's a lender, obligee, or seller who holds a security interest or lien against a pledged asset. That means you pledged the asset to be used. You gave it up. You said, "Hey man, I'm gonna give you this asset." In return, you gave them the right to hold the property while you pay them back the loan or whatever. Okay. Now, let me see. Let me talk about. We don't go into this. Secure party of record. I'm probably gonna end up having to do a second video because I'm not trying to make this super long. But I'm gonna drop this on y'all. See what part I'm trying to see. This one there. So let's go over general law. A law that is unrestricted at the time is applicable throughout the entire territory, subject to the powers of the legislator that enacted it, and applies to all persons in the same class. So when you claim that you're a particular citizen or you claim a particular status, that law that you under that status is going to fall under you because you in that same class. Okay? Special law, a law that applies to a particular place or especially to a particular member or members of a class of persons or things in same situation, but not to the entire class, and that it is unconstitutional if the classification made is arbitrary or without a reasonable or legitimate justification or basis. So this means when you classify yourself as a taxpayer or whatever, you fall in that particular class that you subscribe to. So those special laws will apply to you. Okay? This drop is so. Remedial law is remedial legislation, meaning or description law intended to right a social wrong and provide a remedy, rather than to punish an offender. So you got to understand with all this stuff. I'm just dropping this on you so you can understand where I'm going with this information. So I'm gonna just show you something. So let's look at what a creditor is. Now we understand what a secure party is. Once you secure or perfect your interest in the property. Let me go here. Let's go here first. What is a creditor? A creditor is an entity or a person or institution that extends credit by giving another entity permission to borrow money intended to repay in the future. A business who provides supplies or services to a company or an individual does not demand payment immediately is also considered a creditor, based on the fact that the client owes the business money for services already rendered. You hear that, people? So I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna drop this down. Now, perfection. When a security interest in property is superior to other interests and claims to property, it is said to be perfected. Let me read this again. When a security interest in property is superior to other interests and claims to property, it is said to be perfected. That means you have the superior claim. You can do all of this by contract, understanding what to do, how to contract. So if you do the UCCs, you still got to know what you're doing. But you don't need it to secure. As long as you know how to contract, you Gucci. So let's go here, because I'm going to try to make this video as short as possible. Let's go down. So check this. Here are the boxes to choose from. Leasor, consignor, seller, buyer, bailer, licensee, and licensor. Okay. Let me break this down. Let's go here. A lease. A lease agreement is an arrangement made between two parties that allows one of those parties to use an asset belonging to the owner. Typically, a lease agreement are used for rental properties, but they are also used for rental of vehicles, household appliances, construction equipment, and other items. So you can lease it out, but you got to spell the terms and conditions of the lease. Okay. Licensing agreement is a written contract between two parties in which a property owner permits another party to use the property under a specific set of parameters. A license agreement or a license agreement typically involves a licensor and a licensee. That's why you need a driver's license, because they saying you driving and operating their property. So you gotta understand what you're doing when you're dealing with the UCCs. So, but you don't need the UCCs to do this, please. You feel me? So let me see, let me see, lease. So we got, let me see if I got consignment on here. No, we ain't. I did this. Hold on. Consignment. A batch of goods. An agreement to pay a supplier of goods after the goods are sold. That's what you're doing. You're giving somebody something on consignment. You the co-signer. They the co-signer. You giving it to them, and then they agree once stuff is sold to bring you your money. Bailment. A bailment. There's three types. For the benefit of the bailer and bailee, for the sole purpose of the bailer, for the sole purpose of the bailee. So when you're doing a bailment, you got to understand how to contract. So when you're doing the UCCs, you just can't stop and check the box. You got to know, you got to put parameters in these contracts. That's what a lot of people telling you, check the box. Y'all don't even know what y'all doing. Y'all don't even know how to set up the contract. But the UCCs are applicable under their jurisdiction, and that's what I'm saying. They telling you, but you don't need the UCCs to do any of these things. You can secure your property, and you still can accredit to somebody by doing that. So let's go back to the UCCs. So when even filling out this UCC, you gotta understand what you're doing. You're supposed to have an exhibit of the contract. It's supposed to be an exhibit, and then you gotta look at all these words are to trap you into a jurisdiction so they can claim that you was doing business within a jurisdiction. You don't need none of this to apply. You understand? Because contract don't make the law anyway. If contract make the law, you wanna try to stay as much in this as possible. You want to stay tax exempt. That's the whole purpose. Okay. On part 2, I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to drop this in there and get y'all together. So I'm gonna talk about this a little bit. I ain't gonna go through the whole thing. I'm gonna talk about this. I'm gonna show you some things that you need to be thinking about. I'm not gonna go over everything because this ain't my document. I'm just gonna show you how I rock a little bit, how I think. This ain't legal advice, so don't take this to be legal advice. This is just me talking out loud. So I don't advise to give legal advice either. So this is Keng El Bey. I'm signing out on this one. We talk about the treaty a little bit. We just go over this information. Just look at it. See if y'all can critical think about this stuff. And then take it from there. Just showing y'all how to rock. So I'm signing out. Peace and love to those who keep watching. Ghost in the System. We're going to be dropping more science. So peace.